On a daily basis, you can expect to see an average of 175 million USD in trading revenue from IBIT and Fidelity FBTC, two of the new 9 cryptocurrencies. And if you convert it to Bitcoin, that's approximately 9,000 coins, and we're making 900 coins per day. Since there is such a high demand, it is clear that this cannot continue indefinitely. Before, it took 9 months to observe a 20x increase. Plus, I believe this new demand source will allow you to quickly double in a matter of weeks. We're nearly at $50,000, which is 20 times from now. 1 million is the result of multiplying 20,000 by 50,000. Then it's simply 10 times to 1 million, which is certainly doable if we reach 100,000. On January 3rd, Samson Mow was officially named CEO. Company that specializes on Bitcoin. He has worked with country governments like El Salvador to aid in the adoption of Bitcoin, and he is well known for his promotion of Bitcoin adoption and other measures to encourage its use. His work with El Salvador's Bitcoin bonds and President Nayib Bukele to promote Bitcoin adoption in El Salvador is one of his significant accomplishments. Moreover, Mow allegedly has been lobbying for Bitcoin-friendly legislation in other countries, like Madeira and Indonesia. According to reports, Mow is very confident about Bitcoin's future, especially in 2024, because he sees a supply and demand imbalance on the horizon. His prediction is that Bitcoin's demand would skyrocket when the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission sees Bitcoin ETS, which might lead to prices reaching new record highs. According to Mow's forecast, the price of Bitcoin might surge to $1 million per coin if the 20x Bitcoin Omega candle forms. He highlights Bitcoin's finite quantity of 21 million coins versus its endless demand and the impending halving event in 2024 as reasons to be bullish on the cryptocurrency. Mow recently spoke with Swan Bitcoin about his positive Bitcoin forecasts and the reasons behind his optimism for the cryptocurrency's future price trajectory. As CEO of January 3rd, Samson Mow has been heavily involved in the cryptocurrency field and believes in Bitcoin's potential for considerable development. His bullish stance on Bitcoin's price and his advocacy for Bitcoin adoption are clear indicators of this. For his benefit, I simply outlined each component and wrote them down. However, this is the main indicator that I use to predict Bitcoin's future direction. All of those products are also increasing in price. The hash rate is skyrocketing. Plus, I have the impression that you all are helping with it, aren't you? Including Swan mining, isn't that right? So you're also to blame. People tend to overlook the 200-week moving average, though. Breaking the 200-week moving average requires an event with a significance level of around 10 sigma, doesn't it? Substantiating below that is really unusual. That, meanwhile, is rising at a steady rate. Right now, I'd say it's around 30. On the other hand, there are crypto experts who predict that prices will reach 20,000. However, that is significantly lower than the 200-week moving average. For this reason, we would need a scandal on par with FTX if we were to descend to that level. Furthermore, I do not believe that is achievable right now. It seems like every clue is pointing to the fact that people should switch from currency to Bitcoin, doesn't it? It is rising, much like the debt-to-GDP ratios. The printing of money is increasing. More and more currency is being printed. Coincident with Bitcoin's strength and resilience, all of these things are on the rise. The halving will occur in a little over 3 months. So everything is in place for Bitcoin to experience a highly bullish takeoff. What I've been describing as the Omega candle will be set off by this, I believe. Well, in my opinion, F's target a separate market. To get a better foothold in the TradFi system, I'm sure some wealthy Bitcoiners are considering selling their holdings in it. Why? Because it's now quite easy to borrow against, isn't it? Given that it is an exchange-traded fund, ETF product. In my opinion, it is also used for estate planning. Simply said, if it's in the ETF, it's less likely to be a single point of failure in the event of a crash or other disruption. Therefore, it's possible that Bitcoiners are exhibiting that kind of diversity. On the whole, though, F's target investors such as baby boomers, pension funds, institutions, and even other businesses. In my opinion, that product has not yet been widely available. After all, it takes time for pension funds to make decisions, and we can see their money slowly making its way into ETFs. However, this enormous supply shock and demand surge will be set off by the very act of pension funds purchasing Bitcoin. And it will transpire at a breakneck pace due to this peculiarity. As the value of an item rises, so does the demand for it. This phenomenon may be known as the Veblen effect. However, the influx of pension money will cause prices to rise, which will send a signal to other pension funds. Whether this is a Veblen signal or not, I'm sure we come up with some new words to describe it. More and more people will start looking at this, though, when the price of Bitcoin increases. When the market capitalization of cryptocurrencies reaches a certain level, it will signal to the world that cryptocurrencies are replacing gold. There comes a point what I've termed the Veblen threshold when you no longer desire gold. You must have gold, and this is gold. Given that national treasuries are still stockpiling gold, our demand is comparable to that of nation-states. Many nations are rushing to acquire gold, and China is one of them. Therefore, Bitcoin must now be considered. Looking at Hong Kong is the best way to gauge China, and you can see that 3 or 4 spot ETFs are being manufactured and will soon be available for purchase. What this means is that Bitcoin and other lawful institutional products can be accessible to mainland Chinese money. Thus, the world's reserve asset is Bitcoin, and the tides are turning. Its timing is an open question. It will be absolutely explosive when that happens. In my opinion, the ascent will not be this leisurely and gentle. The ascent to 100 will occur in a step function fashion. After that, you quickly get to 500 from 100 and so on. We are living in fascinating times. We do, in fact, get invitations to meet with foreign heads of state and other high-ranking government officials on a regular basis. In fact, we had one such meeting on January 3 RD. That means we can try orange pilling them. Quite a while will pass. People typically assume it will be quick, in my opinion. Another El Salvador will pass a Bitcoin law and then we'll be done. However, I do consider El Salvador to be somewhat unique due to the fact that its president was a Bitcoiner before to his presidency. That gives you a huge leg up when it comes to knowing